Hey everyone, I'm here once again with a roundup of the World Cup. The quarters are done. We're going into Sims, and the four teams that I predicted to be there are there. Yeah, they. I pretty much predicted these four teams before somewhere in group play. It was kind of like I saw what groups they're in. I could see where the first seeds were going to be put, and this was where I thought everyone would be. Okay, and this gets back to the I don't know why people aren't trusting me with my predictions. All right, to give you an idea, in the group of 32, I got 14 of 16 predictions right. In the group of 16, also called octofinals, I got 6 of 8 right. And in quarters, I got all 4 of 4 matches correct. All right. In total, out of 28 games in the elimination match, I have predicted 24 correct. If you put $100 on all those games, you would be a much richer person. Now, many of the people who won were favored, and so the payoff wouldn't have been that great. Like, you know, France versus Sweden, there wasn't a huge payoff. Spain versus Austria, not a huge payoff. But you still would have made a nice hefty chunk of money. Which brings to the comment, why am I not making a hefty chunk of money? That is because whenever I put money down on gambling, I lose horribly. It's this magic power. God wants me to not gamble and has taught me you're going to lose if you do. Doesn't matter how good I am at predicting sports, something will go wrong while I lose. An injury that, to the best player, something goes wrong. A rampaging ostrich runs on the field. Anything could happen. It's even worse with cards. Like when I play cards with my friends just with poker chips, I do pretty good. I'm not the best. I don't claim to be the best, but I do pretty good. I do better than average. Okay. Uh, and in fact, in every, it doesn't really matter, Texas Hold'em tournament I've been in, I've done better than average. I've come out in the top 50%. I've even won one or two of them. And then I actually put money down in Vegas, and it's horrible. All right. I was playing 4 card poker. My wife was also at the table. It was at the Cosmopolitan. And after 4 hands, the best card I had gotten was a jack. I didn't get a single pair, you know, three of a kind, nothing. I had jack high as my best hand. And I only got that twice. That means 5 times I wasn't even getting a face card. Okay, no pairs, no face cards, no nothing. It was so bad. The dealer at the Cosmopolitan just looked at me and says, "Just leave, dude. Sometimes it's not your day. You really should just get up and leave this table. I've never seen this bad of luck." All right, that's how horrible it is. Went with a bunch of friends from a speech team, and we were playing some cards because we were old enough to in Mesquite where we were spending the night, and I was getting horribly whacked in blackjack. We're talking every hand of 15 or 16. And I'm like, how many 15s and 16s can I get? I'm out. I'm losing everything. I'm out. And then I watched. I was the first one getting dealt cards. And then it just went around the table, wiping out all my friends because whoever was getting dealt cards first, which was my position, started getting bad luck as well. So if I had stayed there in that game, I would have lost twice as much money. It was horrible. So I don't bet because when I do, things go wrong. And so instead, I make predictions for all of you, for you to use the things I figured out to help you make money if you want to, or just, fill out brackets and impress your friends as well. Because frankly, I'm doing as well, or if not better, than what the betting odds are. Because the betting odds all had the teams that I picked to to win but lost also had them picked to win. Okay. And then there's one team, Switzerland, that I predicted to win against Colombia, and betting odds were actually on Colombia's side. So I'm technically doing better than chalk at this point. All right. So what do I have left for the rest of the tournament? We got France versus Spain. I do think Spain has a good matchup ability against France, and I think that's why sometimes in the past they've been able to beat them. Uh, I just France has been so good this tournament. I just I just don't see Spain beating them. Uh, in all honesty, Spain has been uninspiring. I think part of it is because they play a slow game and they do a lot to control the ball in the midfield and like the mid slash backfield to slow down the game and play it at their pace, and that doesn't favor France. But uh, they still have to be able to score on France, and they still like it only takes two times France getting an opening, and that could be it for Spain. So I'm still predicting France. As for the other one, England versus Argentina. From the very beginning, I predicted England. I think England showed a lot of spunk against Norway, and uh, Argentina. I think has been I think people are so in love with Messi that they aren't seeing a lot of the flaws that Argentina has. Okay, like they couldn't beat Switzerland till Switzerland lost a player. They were tied before the red card. Now, I'm actually not against the red card. I was watching that game, and if you watch it, it's clear the guy flopped. Okay, he totally flopped. He's even acting like he got hit before there's any contact with the player behind him, and it's his foot that kicks up and makes contact with him. It like there were people rooting for Switzerland at the barbecue that was watching this, and everyone was like, "Wow, that was a flop. That was more LaFlop than LaFlop has ever done." All right, and if it's that blatant, the rules of FIFA say you get a red card. Now, I think the rules of FIFA should change. I don't think a flop like that should get a red card. I think it should get a yellow card because I think red cards should be saved for things that actually, injure people or severely could have injured people that like took malevolence and uh, you were there's just so clearly breaking the rules and to do it intentionally. And I I don't feel like an intentional flop like that should get a red card, but the rules clearly state it should, and it was clearly a flop. Like I'm sorry, you look at it in slow motion, and like you're falling before there's ever any contact. You're acting like you got hit before there's any contact with you. Like you're the one who caused contact with your flailing to hit the other guy. Like your only justification for what he did was that he like tripped or stumbled, which does happen, in soccer games, but the placing of his feet didn't even look like they were likely to cause it. Now, I do think a red card at such a stage for the flop was a little harsh. Maybe use jury, referee intentions to be like, you know what? I'm not sure if you just fell on your own or were deliberately flopping. So I'm not going to give you a red card. I'm going to give you a yellow card as a warning because I'm not sure what it is. But you were not fouled by Argentina. And it was only when that happened and that they lost a person that Argentina was able to beat them. And so I think England's a better team, and I think they're going to beat Argentina. That sets us up for the final of France versus England, a very classic kind of final. I know some people wanted Argentina, and Argentina still could beat England, partly because FIFA wants Argentina in the final. All right, FIFA wants Messi in the final. They look at the stands and they see all these people in the stands that aren't Argentinian wearing Messi shirts and jerseys. Okay, there's tons of them. When Argentina played in Miami, like 80% of the people there were rooting for Argentina and had Argentina jerseys on. Most of them weren't Argentina fans, they were Messi fans. Messi plays in Miami. So, yeah, they're rooting for their person. All right. And I don't blame them for rooting for their person, but Messi sells merch. And so FIFA wants Messi to go as far as possible. Messi doesn't need to win because that puts him in all the rounds, but there's definitely, in my opinion, been favoritism to him, in regards to what he's done, and maybe that will actually come up in the English round. The one advantage England has is that Messi still gets to play another game. All right, so he's still fighting for third place, and so they could be like, well, we get one more game of Messi no matter what. Uh, but I really think it'll take luck, or I don't know if I want to call it corruption, because FIFA's doing it for they're not doing it because they got paid off. They're doing it for their own, wants. But I think it would take favoritism or luck for Argentina to beat England. And I think with Spain versus France, Spain will need a little luck. But these could go either way. Like they're both good enough teams. Like I said, a little bit of luck, and it's someone else in the finals. I'm sorry, I just can't bring myself to think France isn't better than England. I really do think they are. I'll be rooting for England because I have family that is English, but I think France is now the most likely to win the tournament. Uh, I think England is next just because I think they'll be more likely to be in the final. And after that, I give it a little more to Spain. Uh, I don't know. It's tough with Argentina and Spain. I think Argentina is actually more likely to beat England, but much more likely to lose to either France or Spain. So that's kind of my take. Take it for what you want, and I will talk to you at some point, maybe after the final, to just decompress this whole thing. I look forward to making that video.